If you ask me, this is beauty. In the greenhouse, a big transition is taking place from spring vegetables to summer vegetables. Almost all the salad heads have now been harvested and delivered to our customers, and the place is taken up by other plants like tomatoes, mainly tomatoes on this side, interplanted with some young new lettuces actually, and some leeks in between there. On the other side we've got beans, French beans coming up, some squashes there in the back, garlic here, and we're going to try out some cucumbers. See if that works, see if there is actually enough heat for these to grow. And most plants that were back there in the nursery have now been taken out, planted out on the fields. There's a few batches of new plants that will not be planted out before June. And there's another few here which I either moved out because they were it was just too hot in the greenhouse, like these young lettuce plants that I pricked out yesterday, the day before, as well as some different kinds of kale there. And the squashes and pumpkins are hardening off. They're to be transplanted soon, probably tomorrow. So lots happening in the garden and around the greenhouse. Busy days, but absolutely beautiful days as well. Everything is greening up, and summer has finally arrived. Here at the market garden, things are growing really. There's a lot of different vegetables, and we've got 5 beds established now, the 6th one well underway. In the first beds the potatoes are coming up. We've sown early and late potatoes here, as well as some leftover lettuces there in the middle. And here we see the very first ones coming through. I learned an important lesson here as well. The first 2 beds we put down only 1 layer of cardboard, and that's definitely not enough to keep down things like creeping buttercup and some grasses, so there'll be a lot of weeding here, unfortunately, at least until the potatoes have become so large that the foliage will be closed and the weeds may be smothered. But until that time, some weeding, but also an important lesson. And as soon as we noticed that, we've started to put down 2 layers of cardboard, as well as thicker soil layers and thicker layers of wood chip. And the 3rd bed here, there is a variety of lettuces. They've had a rough day today. It's been quite hot, dry, a little bit windy, so I'm actually here to do some watering. And then we made a tunnel as well, and if we can have a sneak preview in here, we can see that this is actually for different kinds of kale and cabbage. We've got Tuscan kale here on this side, and on the other side there's some Romanesco cauliflowers, and at the very end some beautiful broccolis growing here, protected from most insects. And over there we've got fennel, we've sown chard, Swiss chard, and at the very end of the 5th bed, if you can see it, there's some celeriacs growing there. The 6th bed's probably going to be beetroot, as well as more Tuscan kale and curly kale for the autumn harvest. And that pretty much sums it up. Now the second part here of the second bed is sown with carrots, parsnips and beetroot as well. And of course that's also where the weed pressure is highest. So here we have a lot of work to do. And I'll start with it very soon, because now we can see both the parsnips and the carrots coming up as well. So that means I'm absolutely sure where the seeds are, and I can just start picking out the rest. So, some valuable lessons learned here, and beautiful project on the way. Hopefully we'll get to the other fence by the end of the spring. That's the goal, at least. See how far we get. And if you wanna follow us and keep receiving updates on what we're up to at Upistuga, feel free to subscribe.